What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
I'm still trying to process the trauma I experienced at Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi. It's like my heart is still bleeding from the countless wounds inflicted by their incompetence. As I sit here, reflecting on my stay, I'm reminded of the wise words of my grandmother, who always said, "A hotel is not just a place to rest your head, it's a sanctuary, a home away from home." Oh, how Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi failed to provide that sanctuary. It began with the location, which, I must admit, was the only redeeming quality. It was nestled in the heart of the Old Quarter, a quaint, bustling area that seemed to pulse with life. But, dear readers, do not be fooled. The hotel's proximity to the city's attractions was merely a clever distraction from the plethora of issues that would soon unfold. As I entered the hotel, I was immediately struck by the unfriendly demeanor of the receptionist. It was as if she was bothered by my presence, as if I was an inconvenience rather than a paying customer. Her tone was curt, her smile non-existent. I felt like I was bothering her by asking for my room key. And, oh, the room key. Only one was provided, which meant that if I forgot to bring it, I'd have to contact the front desk, only to be met with a dismissive attitude and a lengthy wait. But, I digress. The room itself was a disaster. I booked a deluxe room with an external city view, but what I got was a room with a single, small window facing the city, while the other two windows gazed out at a dull, gray wall. It was as if they wanted to suffocate me with blandness. And don't even get me started on the upgrade options. The supervisor quoted me the rack rate instead of the best available rate, and the only option provided was a junior suite. It was clear that he wasn't considering my needs as a guest. The room was a petri dish of problems. The key card was required for power, air conditioning, and bathroom ventilation to function, which meant the room had a damp smell and small bugs in the bathroom. And, because there was no air conditioning in the hallways, the temperature difference caused condensation to form on the room door. It was like they wanted me to feel like I was stuck in a sauna. But, what really got my blood boiling was the cleanliness. Oh, the cleanliness. Or, rather, the lack thereof. The room was a mess, with stains on the carpet, dust on the furniture, and a general sense of disarray. It was as if they expected me to be some kind of cleaning fairy, waving my wand and making all the messes disappear. Newsflash, I'm a paying customer, not a hotel janitor. And then, there was the issue of motorbike parking. An old man sitting in front of the hotel was charging 20,000 VND for parking, without so much as a nod towards transparency. It was a scam, plain and simple. I mean, who does that? Who takes advantage of unsuspecting tourists like that? But, the final nail in the coffin was the service. The receptionist was rude, the supervisor was uninformed, and the entire staff seemed to be suffering from a severe case of apathy. It was as if they were just going through the motions, without any concern for the well-being of their guests. As I sat in my room, feeling like a prisoner in a dirty, damp cell, I couldn't help but think of all the ways Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi failed me. They failed to provide a clean room, they failed to provide decent service, and they failed to provide a sense of security. It was like they were more interested in lining their pockets with my hard-earned cash than in providing a decent experience. So, dear readers, let this be a warning to you. Avoid Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi like the plague. They may have a prime location, but they're not worth the hassle. Trust me, I've been there, and I've suffered. Don't make the same mistake. And, to the management of Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi, I say this: you may think you're getting away with your scams and your subpar service, but you're not. I'm calling you out, and I'm warning others. You need to do better. You need to care more. Because, right now, you're not just failing your customers, you're failing yourselves. The reality of businesses near Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi. If you're staying at Hanoi Tirant Hotel, prepare yourself, because the businesses nearby are a masterclass in disappointment. This isn't just bad luck, it's a pattern. A depressing, predictable cycle of overpriced mediocrity, scams, and service so poor it feels intentional. Let's break it down. Shopping, where luxury means nothing. Shopping near Hanoi Tirant Hotel is like walking into a museum of capitalism's worst habits. Trang Tien Plaza, for example, is less a mall and more a hollow display of wealth. The stores? Overpriced, empty, and staffed by people who'd rather stare at their phones than acknowledge you. Security guards patrol like prison wardens, shooing away anyone daring to sit on a step. One visitor described it as a place to laugh at prices 3 times higher than Europe before leaving. Another was followed by security just for walking with students. If you enjoy being treated like a criminal while browsing $200 t-shirts, this is your paradise. Spas, relaxation? More like regret. Serene Spa Hanoi promises tranquility but delivers chaos. Imagine booking a massage, only to have your back set on fire, literally. One guest needed the masseuse to blow out the flames. Others reported ear cleaning that was just a cotton bud waved near their ear. The real kicker? Staff harass guests into leaving 5-star reviews before they can leave. If you refuse, they argue. So much for serenity. Dining, a symphony of letdowns. Duongs Restaurant is where culinary dreams go to die. Michelin rated? More like Michelin misled. Reservations mean nothing here, dietary restrictions ignored, food arrives cold, and salmon tastes like it was defrosted in a hurry. One diner waited over an hour for buncha, only to receive an overcooked, overpriced insult. Another left with food poisoning so severe they needed antibiotics. The only thing consistent is the disappointment. La Table Hanoi, Press Club, is no better. A fine dining experience where staff forget you exist between courses. One couple's anniversary was ruined when their pre-ordered menu was ignored, and dessert arrived before the main course. Another guest found their beef tasting like grass. For the price, you could eat 100 bowls of pho and still have change. Coffee, bitter in all the wrong ways. The note coffee is a tourist trap disguised as a cafe. Egg coffee? More like sweetened egg water. The floors are sticky, the fans look ready to collapse, and staff rush you upstairs like you're trespassing. One guest was yelled at for asking to pay by card. Another called it the worst coffee in Vietnam, and that's saying something. Nightlife, where scams replace music. The Opera nightclub isn't just bad, it's predatory. Tourists report being scammed at the door, charged double, or outright robbed. Reviews are a course of don't go and you'll regret it. One visitor summed it up: bad nightclub. Don't let you get scammed. Poetry. Retail, rudeness sold separately. Mini Sohon Kiem is where customer service goes to die. Staff ignore you, chat loudly, and once knocked over a child without apology. Products break immediately, and returns are a battle. One shopper was told what the yuck? After using Google Translate to ask for help. Charming. Final thoughts: if Hanoi Tirant Hotel is your base, brace yourself. The surrounding businesses operate on a simple formula: charge premium prices, deliver subpar experiences, and treat customers as inconveniences. Whether it's spas setting people on fire, restaurants serving food poisoning, or nightclubs scamming tourists, the message is clear: lower your expectations, or go elsewhere. The only mystery here is how these places stay in business. Maybe they rely on tourists who'll never return. Maybe they enjoy the chaos. Either way, consider yourself warned. Okay, so I was, looking into stuff around Hanoi Tirant Hotel, just seeing what happens there. And honestly, it's kinda depressing. Businesses near Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi, they have this way of just taking advantage. It's not a surprise, I guess, but still. A lot of the time around Hon Kiem Lake, which isn't far from Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi, so you'll probably walk around there, you'll get people swarming you, trying to polish your shoes without even asking. Seriously? Who does that? They just grab your sandals, start scrubbing, and then demand money. If you don't pay, they get loud. Surround you, make a scene. I bet the tourists who get stuck with this feel totally helpless and probably just pay to get away. And those guys? They probably just move on to the next person. The police supposedly talk to them, but honestly, they'll just find new people to join. It's a cycle. Then there's the shops, especially in the Old Quarter, which is close enough to Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi that you'll end up there. They're full of fake stuff. Police raided places on Hang Nong and Hang Dao, apparently, tons of fake Marshall speakers. Thousands. Can you believe people try to sell that? I mean, seriously, who buys a Marshall speaker from a random shop in Hanoi? But they do, I guess. Those shops probably just hid the rest of their fake goods and waited for the police to leave, then went back to ripping people off. The tourists? They're left with broken, cheap speakers and a really bad feeling, probably. And the souvenir shops. Oh, my god, the souvenir shops near Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi are the worst. They show you something cheap, you pick it up, and then they try to sell you something completely different, and way more expensive. Or they swap it out at the checkout. You think you're buying a nice little painting, and then you get a tiny, faded print. It's just so dishonest. You probably end up arguing with them, feeling stressed and cheated, and walking away empty-handed. They probably just laugh about it later, counting their money. And don't even get me started on the street food sellers. They'll just put food in your hands, donuts or whatever, and then expect you to pay for it. If you say no, they get all aggressive and shouty, trying to guilt trip you. Seriously, forcing food on people? It's just awful. You'd probably just pay a couple of dollars to get them to leave you alone, and then feel really annoyed at yourself for letting them get away with it. I bet they do that all day, every day. It makes you just want to stay inside Hanoi Tirant Hotel, Hanoi all the time, but then what's the point of traveling, you know?